All right, family, we back. As you see, I had to change the location, but we never changed the message. Now, where I really want to get people at and get you to understand what I'm trying to say is, and to get you prepared. And just like I said in the previous video, this is just not for you. This is for your children too. Because you have to instill certain things into your children so when things do happen, because nothing is new under the sun. And I'm going to show you here with these slides also that none of this shit is even new. This shit been happening. I'm talking about since colonization in America. This shit been happening. It's been a part of our entire society. So if it happened hundreds of years ago, what makes you think that it won't happen right now? It's just a domino effect waiting to happen. And we see every day, every mass shooting, everything that's done in public to make people scared, that's being broadcast on the news. Every day, every time one of these things happen, it's a domino effect. One just fell. And it's getting us closer and closer into that moment. Now, for those of you who don't understand, what is martial law? And as we take a look right here, we'll tell you, martial law in the United States refers to several periods telling you that it already done happened in the United States history, where a region or the United States as a whole are placed under the control of a military body. Remember what I said in my previous videos about you will see tanks coming down your street. You will see army men dressed in fatigue patrolling around your door. On a federal level, only the president has the power to impose martial law. But in each state, just like I just previously said, the governor has the right to impose what? Martial law. That means you have two class of individuals that could put your ass on a stretcher and leave you somewhere and have you handcuffed and tied down somewhere, violating all of your rights. You get what I'm saying? Hold on. My bad, family. But yes, you have those two classes right there that can have your ass tied up somewhere, violating all of your human rights that's given to you by the Creator itself. And they'll be violating every one of those rights that you have to impose a certain law. Again, who do we see that can do these things? Go to the next slide. Now, the U.S. states the privilege of written habeas corpus shall not be suspended. This is your laws. The right. So what is mean? It means basically that you have the right to not be detained or imprisoned without your rights, without the right to an attorney, without the right to a fair trial. If there was no reason for them, like exigent circumstances or hot pursuit, they cannot touch you or detain you. That's violating of your Fourth Amendment, if you get what I'm saying. Shall not be suspended. Now look, this is in your Constitution. Unless when in a case of rebellion, that's you rebelling against the government, or the invasion of the public safety may require. What we see in today with the mass shootings in schools, shootings in churches, shootings in malls, just like today, and I believe it was Atlanta, the shooting. But things of that nature, which scares the public, is invasion the public safety may require it. You get what I'm saying to you, family? So if you have all of these things that's in play right now happening, this is cause for martial law. And if you think that martial law is not capable of being done in the United States, what do we have here? We have also known as the John Warner National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2007, was a bill passed in the United States Congress on September 29, 2006, and signed by then President George W. Bush on October 17, 2006, becoming public law 109-364, in addition to allocating funding for what? Armed forces. It also gave the president to what? The power to declare martial law and to take command of what? The National Guards, units of each state without consent of state governors. Who are the National Guards? These are either ex-military veterans or people who want to be a military veteran but just didn't pass a test. These are things right there where they are already patrolling our waters. Where do they patrol? They patrol the borders of America. So if you have these people along with the armed forces, the military, patrolling your grounds, what are you going to do, family? So if you have all of these people on your borders, like I was just saying, imposing themselves on you, on your home fronts, what are you going to do? And we bringing this along by people falling in these traps and ideologies where they want to go harm innocent people, such as shooting up schools, shooting up churches, and all types of fuckery. You bring this upon yourself. And if you think that you could go up against an army, I'm sorry, you're sadly mistaken. It's not going to work. You are going to be stripped of what? Your rights. Take this for answer. Typically, the imposition of martial law accompanies curfews. The suspension of what? Civil law, civil rights, and habeas corpus, what I was just talking about, where you are guaranteed a right to do trial and not be in prison without reasonable evidence or, conviction. In the application or extension of military law or military justice to who? Civilians. Who are civilians? You. You are a civilian in this country. That means there is a legal act to impose military force upon you. Your human rights, being your civil rights, don't mean anything. And you're bringing this upon who else but yourself. When you become a problem, and I remember a judge told me this when I was around 14 years old. She said, I see your future. She said, you are a hazardous to who? The community. And when you are a hazard to the community, you have to be what? What happens to hazards? They have to be contained. And that's exactly what will happen to this country if we keep seeing all of these effects of mass shootings and military force shootings, people rebellion against each other, man. So I'm telling you, people, get it together, because all you're going to do is cause a mass effect. A battle that you really can't even win. To be totally honest with you, a battle that you can't even win. And this is for those of you who thinking that this can't happen. It has happened time after time again in this country. Take for instance, United States martial law has been used in a limited number of circumstances, such as directly after a foreign attack, as in Hawaii, after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, they had to lock everything down. Take for instance, New Orleans during the Battle of New Orleans, after major disasters such as the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 or the San Francisco earthquake of 1906, Local leaders declared martial law to protect themselves from who? Mob violence, such as Nauvoo, Illinois, during the Illinois Mormon War, or Utah during the Utah War, or in response to chaos associated with protests and mob action, such as the 1934 West Coast waterfront strike. Excuse me. This has happened before. This has happened before, family. It has also been used against who? Civil protesters. Fighting for what? Racial equality in the Deep South Freedom Riders. And I'm pretty sure if you're a black scholar, you already know about this. Our families and our ancestors already done went through. This is in the mid 20th century, excuse me. In the 1900s, where this happened. In the 60s. You talking about what, 60 years ago? And you think that this can't happen to you? I'm sorry, man. You sadly mistaken. Get up on your job and train your family so they'll be able to protect themselves against any opposition. But don't throw yourself in the fire by creating chaos when you can't control the chaos that is a repercussion of the things that you are doing. This goes for them racist people who stay want to attack, terrorists that stay want to attack. All you doing is digging a bigger ditch for yourself. Until next time we talk, peace to the gods and the goddesses of the nation and of the land and of all creation. Stay blessed, like and subscribe. You know how we do. Get with the movement.